on.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a few key areas, especially a Welby, he's shooting with all of his dreadlocks. Like he's so excited to get into that area, and he just it starts just. It's like he powers up, but like there's not much power. Like
there's no release.
Yeah, no release. Like, you know what I mean?
It was that one shot you're thinking about.
That one shot.
Hello, welcome to another Touchdown Frankers podcast. My name is Lewis. I'm joined by Brexit in the building.
What's going on, Luke?
We got Sebby.
Yo.
And we got Dan.
What's happening, man?
Not the Arsenal Dan. We're not talking about that bum who hosts the Touchline North.
Oh,
Sorry, Elijah. Sorry, man. Sorry. I didn't know there was like. Yeah, I forgot there was like family members present. Yeah, you need to be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't hold any allegiances to Dan anyway.
Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows?
How you doing, Elijah? You right?
Good, thank you.
And we got Palumi as well. Palum Mbappe.
I'm back, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You've come to get me today, you know?
Wow.
I think you deserve it, if I'm being honest. We'll get to Chelsea anyway. But guys, before we start, make sure to use the hashtag when you're listening to the podcast. So any funny parts, use the hashtag TouchdownFrankers. Make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and on YouTube, because all our content is on YouTube now. So make sure you give us a subscription on there. And if you want to become a Touchdown Frankers member, go to www.patreon.com/TouchdownFrankers and you become a Touchdown Frankers member on there. Guys, let's start with today's game. Which one you're going to go for?
The guy from Gabon.
Boy. Listen, Sebby, yeah?
Whoa.
You are... Okay, I've got smoke for you, okay? I've been preparing this on the train here, innit? Like, when the Central Line was going through severe delays, yeah? I was stuck in tunnels. I was waiting, right? What am I going to say to Seb today, innit? Founder of... It's only the Bundesliga.com. Yeah?
Yeah.
What you said about my boy Aubameyang?
Aubameyang's doing alright.
Yeah.
He's doing okay. He's
Yeah.
doing okay. But it's only December.
And it's only December, and he's got 10 league goals.
It's only December.
10 league goals in 14 games.
Yeah, it's alright.
And I seem to remember, I think you had a bet with someone. I don't know if it was in regards to Lukaku.
No.
It wasn't.
No.
It wasn't, though?
No. It was a straight up bet with me and the better host.
Okay. That's not gonna save you from your bet, by the way. That's not gonna get Anton to not get his money from you, by the way. You're still gonna have to pay him, like.
Straight up bet with me and the better host that Aubameyang wouldn't score 16 league goals.
Oh, okay. So he only needs 5 more. Do you want to do an early cash out or something like that?
Yeah, and shout at me. Let me know.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the game, because a lot of people were saying that, you know, North London derbies are so fun. Like, every single time there's a North London derby, there's all sorts of drama that goes on. And today was nothing different. Arsenal started the first 20 minutes. I was so happy with how we started. I couldn't believe how we started. I was thinking, wow, so all right, this is what Emery's on then. We're seeing what Emery's like in the big games.
Yeah.
And it was just so refreshing to see. Like, we actually had a plan against Spurs. And, well, Dan, you're an Arsenal fan, so you tell me your thoughts on how the first 20 minutes went.
I must say, when we played today Spurs and Liverpool, I thought they were our best two performances.
Yeah.
So whenever we play like someone lesser, seems like we absolutely shit. But today we really turned up. So first 20 minutes, I don't remember Spurs having the ball, honestly. Don't remember having the ball, having the chance. We were battering them the first 20 minutes. Obviously, we got the penalty, got the goal, and I was just thinking, we need another goal. We need another goal, because I just think at some point we will concede at least one.
Yeah.
So we didn't get that goal, and a bit of shit house from Spurs, to be honest. That free kick was needless to give away from Socrates. They score, equalise. I'm thinking, fuck's sake. Then the penalty, I don't know what people are thinking here, but I think that's a dive.
I didn't think it was
That's a dive for me, man. That's a dive.
I didn't think he got a touch.
He didn't get
He
touched.
does get a touch.
He does get a touch.
He does get a touch on
It's
the
soft.
top of his foot, yeah, but it's not enough to.
I think
put him out.
I can see his
Holding's
foot
fucking
moving
dumb.
already. When he realises that holding is sliding, he's moving his foot already, like his leg is going already, like he's going down. So for me, that's a dive, not a penalty. Anyway, they score.
I think it's a little bit similar to the Di Maria one midweek. Because I
last 3 weeks I've seen
Yeah,
a
but
few
I
of them.
think-
I thought that Mane was going down before he's coming.
Yes, he
Yeah,
definitely.
and then
That
he's
was a
coming.
dive
Yes.
That was
And
a
then
Mane
it's
was
like-
definitely going down before, but
Yeah,
it
but
gets
this is-
contact.
that's
But
what-
But
this
my
is what
point,
does
my
get
point
it.
is that when you make
yeah.
the challenge, so like,
Yeah.
like Elijah's saying, if you make the challenge, you then give the referee that
Of
decision
course.
to
The
make.
contact was not sufficient this time.
It's not.
though.
Yeah.
For the Mane one, it was.
Holding
but-
just so rash.
This is
and
what I'm
that
saying.
was dumb.
I'm a firm
Hella
believer.
dumb.
If you're rash, you get
I-
punished
you
for it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
No, I understand that, but even then, like I understand the logic behind it, but we should still take a step back and think,
It's
should
not-
he have gone down?
Yeah.
Really and truly.
Mm.
It's not a penalty
For me, it's not a pen, but I obviously understand why it's been given, or
Yeah.
understand the rationale behind the referee.
Yeah.
but I'm not in it.
Did you guys see anything? Because I was trying to like critique the game, and I was trying to look for something wrong in Arsenal's performance that saw us 1-0 up in complete cruise control, dominating the game, and within 5 minutes we're 2-1 down, and I couldn't put my finger on what was the
think
issue.
It was just a momentum change with the goal. As soon as that scored, it was just like Arsenal were rattled for a bit, and
Yeah.
then Spurs just.
I think
Yeah.
it's even like going on from that. I think it's even like the celebration and that little brawl as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It just their heads went
Yeah.
because of it. Like from subs to everyone on the pitch, like they
Yeah.
couldn't just even that lack of composure for 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
If you don't keep your head, especially when you've got a game plan and it's so like well thought out, that's something you can't account for. You can't account for, you know, subs or like for there to be a brawl or whatever to happen. So
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
because of that, Spurs were like completely under the cosh. So you've given them a way back in temporarily.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
think it was completely out of the blue.
yeah, that's why.
It's just become a heads gone erratic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
2-3
saying.
minutes of football. That's
No,
what
but even before that though, there was a few times that Arsenal got into really good areas, and if you you know, score from those half chances, or if you create a chance and it goes in or whatever, it's a totally different game. There is no momentum change, and Spurs are completely gone.
Yeah.
But I feel like in a few key areas, especially a Wolby, he's shooting with all of his dreadlocks. Like he's so excited to get into that area, and he just he starts just. It's like he powers up, but like there's there's not much power. Like
There's no release.
Yeah, no release. Like, you know what I mean?
It was
Like,
that one shot you're
yeah,
talking about.
that one shot. Like, bro, relax. Like,
dancing,
like,
man.
just-
Mate, his legs were moving bare fast
just
before
take
that
it
shot,
easy, like you're gonna be okay.
and he smashed it towards
He
the corner flag.
smashed
You know.
it.
You're gonna be okay.
And nothing happened. Like so, like
How poor was Leno for that goal though?
Oh,
No,
mate.
that was
mate,
terrible.
Jesus
That was
Christ.
fucking-
In fairness to Leno, like, because
Bundesliga.
I've been like critical of him. What you saying?
It's a Bundesliga.
Yeah, he's like the Bundesliga, innit? But yeah, I've been quite critical of Leno, but he shut me up in the last few weeks because he has done everything I've asked of him to do. Today, I think, what can you say? It's a mistake.
There was one situation in the second half as well that Czech would not be that far.
But the sweeping, that was
yeah,
excellent
that was
because
good.
we were playing a very high line today, and there was a few times Spurs just popped it in behind.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why Spurs got back into the game as well, because Son kept making runs in between the wing back and the outside centre back,
Yeah.
which got Spurs back into the game. Because there'll be times where I think it was Ali hooked it over one time.
Yeah.
I think it was,
Kolasinac was
I think
not.
it was Spurs' first chance where he hooks it in between. So I think the fact that he was playing a high line and he was playing 5 at the back, that Leno had to be coming out.
Leno is
Holding
quite
nearly-
good at that.
Holding nearly put a top bins in his own goal, didn't he?
Did he?
When
Was it
from the free kick,
From the
and
free
then
kick, innit?
I thought it was Kane first, but then there was another corner sort of. It must have been holding.
So okay, so
I was
go
going
on.
to say something. I felt like the bad spell that we had in the first half was particularly down to needless fouls. So when Socrates gave that first foul away, then all their chances came from set pieces.
from set pieces.
Brainless.
We were rattled. we were rattled,
brainless.
and just giving free kicks away. Eriksen was clapping them.
Yeah.
in. That's how we lost control in the
I
first
think
half.
that the passion just
Towards the
went
end.
a bit too far, and you were just rattled for a bit. Just kept tackling and just giving away needless fouls.
But I think that's a theme with Socrates. Like too much of playing the man and trying to like, you know, he likes to pump the crowd up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he
It's the,
wants
it's
to
the
kind
Greek
of-
in him, innit? It's the
He wants to
Roman
do-
in him.
He wants to do everything. He wants to do
The
everything.
Spartan, sorry, not the Roman.
Hold on. He was on Kane today, though. He was.
Yeah,
on
No,
his-
but I think within that he wants to overpower the opposition player so much. So it happened last week. I think
Toxic
with-
masculinity, yeah.
Literally with Josh King in the corner. It's like I think he's on Josh King's back and he just spins him because it's like the ball's here and I'm just gonna turn you over. And I think he's got too much of that. And
he's a mixed grill, man.
I'm not.
He's an idiot.
But you know what? I was
Him
highly-
and Mustafi, innit?
I was actually quite
Mate.
impressed by the way how you lot dealt with set pieces today. Anyway, I think you attacked corners quite well. You won quite a few. You gave yourself chances where normally in the past couple of years, Arsenal haven't been known for
Yeah,
defending or
I
attacking.
think that was evident under Wenger though. At the latter part of Wenger, but we've started to deal with set pieces a little bit better in recent years. There's no longer that cliche argument that Arsenal are vulnerable from set pieces. I know we conceded from one today, but
I hate to admit it, and I don't really want to admit it, but Torreira,
fucking
mate.
He's the one,
let's
man.
talk about Torreira before we get to Emery.
Torreira's fucking class, man.
He is fucking wavy. I can't lie.
I think I got a question today. I can't remember who it's from.
I was gonna say that. I think he's sign of the season, man.
I think
What, 25
is he a world class player?
Nah.
Not yet.
He's
I
on the
don't know.
cusp. He's
I
on
don't
the
know.
cusp, man.
I don't know. I want. In fact, what he's playing at a world class level right now.
Yeah.
He's playing at a world class level right now. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen him.
But for me, I need to see it over a long period in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Just say
But
it's
he's
what.
playing at a
Yeah,
world class
I
level
The
right now.
quality of his passing has something to be desired of, innit? But
And
obviously,
the reading of the game.
his retention of the ball.
He's
and
hella
his ways
calm
of
as well. Like,
getting
he
out
doesn't
of
rush the
problems.
pass. He doesn't rush the pass.
He's
When he realizes there's
unreal.
no option, he turns. Quick turn.
His
There was a couple
quick
times
pivot
when
turns and stuff like that are very impressive.
very good.
Me personally, I don't know what more I could see from him. To
unreal.
I understand the
Not the
consistency
same
angle,
level. The same
but
level.
I feel like what he's doing is I can't see it dropping off.
But my thing,
It's so simple. It's so hard for it to
So sick.
Yeah,
drop off.
and he's so good at what he does. Like
It's just
every single time, a team is on the counter attack, I'm just expecting Torreira to be there. Or every time a team is trying to pass it out the back, I'm expecting Torreira to be there, nicking the ball, and he's so good at it. I think he is world class.
I think he's fantastic.
So that means
with regards to like world class, it's very similar to the kind of, not to compare Arsenal to Southampton, but with Van Dijk, he was actually playing at a really high level for a really long time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he joined
Got the lights
Liverpool
on
and
him.
got into Champions League and was playing in the final and whatnot that people started to say, oh, he's the best centre back in the world.
I think it's fair to do
yeah,
that.
but I
though.
think it's fair because if you're world class, you should be performing at the highest level.
See, so
we're still coming,
I
yeah.
do think it's fair, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like it will hold people back from giving Torreira. I was gonna say Tortilla for a second. Give Torreira.
Yeah, we need to start respecting his name. He's no longer called Tortilla.
this is Tortilla. name
Correct
as well.
pronunciations,
Straight out the window
please.
Yeah, no, but he's genuinely he's fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I got a tweet. I think it seems like Aubameyang's been listening to. He said, "I love tap-ins, but come on, put some respect on my name."
Is that what you put?
at Sebby BFI.
Keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. I think he's doing well right now, and Emery, he definitely has a lot to do with it because he's actually surprised me, and I think he's getting the best out of all of his players, and the system he's choosing on a week by week basis is I don't know, the coaching. I can definitely see the coaching aspect to what he's doing. Like they're playing at they're right, like especially like the fitness. I think fitness is a huge thing to do with Arsenal. Like, and I think like they're playing and they're performing at a really high level. So
Yeah.
in turn, Aubameyang, you know.
I think one thing is the fact that the one thing I love about Emery so far is that he is so aggressive with like his changes.
I love it.
As soon as like he sees something wrong, he will change.
Very
it straight away.
proactive.
Like he had 3 formations today,
Yeah.
and each time Spurs just reacted far too slowly to it.
Yeah.
And by that time they already capitalized, and like it's just so impressive. I think that's one thing. Like even the first time I saw it was when he beat Liverpool in the Europa League final. First half got outplayed. Second half they came out. He changed everything and he just like blew them away. Like he's very aggressive with changes, and I really like.
I think he's got one trait especially, like he second guesses himself a lot. I think.
Yeah.
So as soon as he realizes, okay, this doesn't work, I've got another plan for this. I'm just going to implement this.
It's quite refreshing to see
So,
that,
yeah,
isn't it?
yes.
Rather than Wenger, like we'll be
If Wenger
performing
just-
at a poor level week
if he
after week
wouldn't
after
have
week.
done
At half time
And
today,
I-
that's for sure.
And like for me, I think that Arsenal have the makings of something. From like, in a short term, not much. In a long term, I think there's like he as a coach with him there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of having that flexibility in game, and also kind of last week the 3 at the back I felt like came from nowhere. It wasn't like no one really could foresee that was what the shape was going to be. And I think he's someone that's really having a look, analysing, and that's not to say that previous managers like Wenger didn't analyse, but he's like you said, he's very aggressive and he's very quick to make. I wouldn't say quick, but he's keen almost to make those decisions. He's not afraid. My problems with Arsenal, and I think the result today was good. The result and the performance were fantastic, but I feel like Arsenal aren't ruthless enough as a club to make the necessary changes that they need to make the step up. Because right now, I know a lot of fans will be having it should be with that performance. but some of the players that I feel like we're playing can easily be upgraded.
But we have to. We're under new management now. We don't know that. So in the summer, that might be a complete switch, and players get moved out. I think
the only reason why I say that
is Welbeck's contract.
No, honestly,
Ramsey's gone though.
I think that's Ramsey's more of a preference thing, as opposed to he's not good enough. We're gonna get him out. And I think with regards to that, so things like Welbeck's contract, Mislintat in terms of what he's previously the market he's previously operated in terms of the profile of player that he brings in, the signings that you made, and some of the things that I'd say need to be addressed in terms of, like, for instance, the back three today, every single one of them can be upgraded upon.
Yeah,
significantly.
Realistically.
And so with that in mind, that's potentially 3 defenders that you need that need to be significantly better than them. A winger, Xhaka is still playing. And it's like, when you think about that and you think about the scope that there is for improvement, it's like, and the coach you've got now, and some of the players that you've got, like, that are decent quality.
Yeah.
You think, oh, Arsenal can do a lot. But then you also then look at the history and then you look at some of the people that are in charge. Can you trust that they're going to make them changes? And
there's some changes though at the board level, so I think it'll be better to judge after a second summer or third summer.
Yeah, I agree with that, because at this moment in time we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. Gazidis is gone, so we could attribute it to being part of the sensible Arsenal that give contract out for free. I think with the Welbeck thing a bit harsh. I think he whenever he played this year, he has been good. No, so he's proven a useful squad player.
You need to be ruthless with these players, because that's what's happening at United now. You're not ruthless with players, and they just
and I'm also thinking they're extending Welbeck's contract because of the
homegrown thing.
The homegrown level. So he's a player already on the books. You can probably get him for. He probably won't have improved terms. Yeah. So you give him a contract, keep him on the books. He's homegrown. It's easy. It's an easy deal.
The issue is though with that is we're a club that constantly complains about how high our wage bill is, and paying Welbeck 140, something around that, and probably get a slight increase or whatever. I don't think that's wise to be spending on Danny Welbeck, and if he is going to get you 10 goals a season, it's not worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm not completely against that extension, if I'm honest.
I'm just on the principle of like the homegrown thing. Yeah. But then we got Nketiah there.
That's my final thing. I feel like very quickly, Arsenal's situation could look like Liverpool's last year, in that you've got a few youth prospects that could kind of be your Alexander-Arnold. They slot in. And then you spend significantly more on a few pieces, and then you've got a team. But it's just that kind of ruthlessness in terms of, for that to happen, someone like a Monreal, obviously I know he's been a loyal servant, someone like a Monreal, a Kolasinac, a Welbeck, they need to be up out of there so that you can give them younger players, a kind of platform to flourish. Yeah. In the same way that I think Clyden's almost been shipped out, and then you've also then got this potential new backing to then put it into the pieces, and then you've got a decent team.
And you get rid of Ozil, like Liverpool got rid of Coutinho.
Yeah. Perfect. I don't, to be fair though, I think there's obviously a breakdown there with Ozil. Did you see Emery's comments?
Yeah.
What did he say?
There's no confirmation of that.
He said, so have you seen the interview afterwards with Emery?
He basically said, oh yeah, he had a backache.
But he's like, did you know if he's at the game? I don't know. I don't know.
I understand that people love the narrative, but you don't know. So
I feel like there is. And a backache seems like one of those injuries where it's like
the same injury every time. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Every time. Even last time I was on, where Morales said it's a back spasm that comes back.
Yeah, it's the same excuse every time.
But that's convenient to me. That's convenient.
That's when you don't want to play. Any big team in that is just back on.
He is he's a pussy right now.
100%.
Yeah,
definitely is a pussy. But I'm not having this.
Emery doesn't like the fact that he's a
when there's no facts. I'm not having it.
Yeah, we can only go off of speculation, innit?
No, but the fact is, Arsenal perform better without Ozil.
You say that we've had these performances with Ozil in the team before.
We won last year 2-0 against him. He was man of the match. What are you talking about?
Perform better without Ozil.
That's a blatant agenda, because we've had before we get too carried away. Over the last few seasons, we've had really good performances at home against top sides, against all the top sides, against Spurs as well. And I don't want to get too carried away with it. Because it is quite refreshing to see that, Emery seems to be very flexible and versatile with his tactics and his formations and, you know, whatever coaching that he's bringing into the side. I just want to just bring it down a little bit because I feel like people are getting a bit too excited over this.
The still got to be a bit critical, but today was amazing.
I've been on Ozil for 4 years. For 4 years. Since I've been on him for 4 years.
I can't see us getting rid of it.
I find it so reactionary. Like, we're playing today, we're 2-1 down. I've seen hella tweets about, I told you Eriksen's better news. What's he done? Full time is full 2. He done fuck all.
Let's talk about that. That's a good point because
I think he is though.
Come on, man.
I think Eriksen offers more than Ozil. Simple as that.
I think on a performance level, I don't think many people can argue over the last 2 or 3 years that Eriksen has performed to a higher level than Ozil. Over who is the better player?
That's
I don't know.
I can't say what. Okay, so because Rooney's still playing now, should I say what?
Listen, leave Rooney alone.
Should I say Rooney's better than Aubameyang?
He missed the penalty. Your boy missed the penalty in the MLS Cup semi-final.
He
dragged us, DC United. He dragged us.
That's the final, innit? He dragged us.
Do you know where DC United play?
Yes.
Where?
He dragged us at the Audi Stadium.
Where's that?
The Audi Stadium, bro.
Where is it?
That's the FIFA Ultimate Team card.
But yes, what I'm saying is, if he's performed better at a high level over the last 3 years, in my opinion, he's a better player. I can't talk about Ozil at Madrid or Ozil when he first came because you don't know if that Ozil's still there.
In the last 5 years, has Eriksen had a season as good as Ozil when he got 19 assists? No, he didn't.
Has Eriksen ever had a season which has been bad as some of Ozil's seasons?
Of course, when he first came, it was terrible. People said he was a flop. Are you mad?
Eriksen ever since his first bid,
people said he was a flop. Are you mad?
No, he wasn't. He was the only Spurs signing that summer that actually played.
I kept saying, I want Eriksen. I want him in our team.
People used to say him and Coutinho are flops.
No.
Everyone saw the price tag of Eriksen.
Wait. Arsenal fans probably said that.
Not me.
Arsenal fans probably said that.
I rate Eriksen. I think he's better than Ozil right now. I'm not debating that. I'm just saying the narrative changes every time, and it's convenient for people to change it.
Yeah, but
let's talk facts.
Yeah, but alright, facts. Ozil's been out of multiple games. Eriksen has very, very, very small amount of games where he's been.
But the issue is with this is the level of scrutiny. This issue with Spurs players.
Look at the facts. He's missed games on the winger too.
Eriksen goes missing.
He goes missing in a lot of games.
But this is the thing. You won't notice it because Spurs don't come under the same scrutiny as your Arsenals, as your Chelseas, your Man United.
Play well. There's someone else that can do something for them.
I don't know about that.
No, Eriksen.
Not when Ali's doing fucking.
Who's sitting down and watching Spurs on a Saturday at 3 p.m? No one's watching them.
Eriksen does go missing, but
They don't get the same scrutiny.
if we had to draw up a list of performances over the last 3 years, who's performed better? In my opinion, I think Eriksen's
better
better.
than him.
I think Eriksen's better. So that's all we can judge on. Like we
just
only
don't
can
like
go on
narrative.
recent times. United won the title 5-6 years ago. We're shit now. You can't say, Ozil done this before. He's not the better player now. So even when you made the poll, it doesn't make no sense.
I don't like
how can you look at them two play over the last 3 years and say Ozil's a better player than Eriksen?
Do you know what? Scrap all this. I don't like how the conversation is shifting away to Ozil Eriksen. Today we played Spurs. Everyone thought we'd lose. We battered them. And the story. We didn't even need Ozil to play. No. You was the one that brought up Ozil. What are you talking about?
You brought up the Ozil and Eriksen thing, and then obviously.
Yeah, but Arsenal have never lost to Poch at home since Poch has been.
Yeah, but the Spurs have got a bad away record against everyone. This is what I'm saying. I don't want to get too overboard.
You're expected to win.
But our performance level was hugely encouraging. Hugely encouraging.
Just on that note, I wouldn't say expecting, only because of obviously they caned us the other day.
Yeah, but we were
bad, but they caned us, and then they've won.
And then they struggled against Inter Milan.
No, but this is my point.
Very late with a full team, and Arsenal had a full week rest.
I think it's more of a mentality thing.
Because
I feel like if you win them two big games, going into that, and Arsenal look shaky against.
Yeah, but surely the energy's been zapped out of them from that Inter game.
I understand that argument, but my thing for me, my head was more they've actually beaten two teams in 2 important games. They're gonna have a bit of momentum. So come Sunday, I wouldn't be shocked if they ransack Arsenal. Not in terms of legs, obviously. I understand that.
I just think that Arsenal have been sneakily creeping back into performances and getting results.
Well, I think Arsenal are in the top 4 now for the. I think they're ahead of Spurs on goal difference. Yeah. Has anyone's thoughts on Arsenal changed in terms of whether they can make it into the top 4? Because some people at the start of the season said no, Arsenal not making it top 4.
With Arsenal, I've been saying for a while that I'm waiting for them to have a loss to see how they'll react to it. But now, this performance today, I'm thinking that performance today really actually impressed me. So I'm thinking maybe I can see something where they can finish the top 4. But Yeah.
We'll have to see.
The reason I was talking about it the other day, about if like football's changed, like I feel like people need to run more, and I feel like Emery's definitely grasped that you need to be fit, like to play at a high level, and I feel like that's like maybe half of everything he's done. He just got their fitness up, and they're just able to do the things they wasn't able to do under Wenger, like, and they're able to do it consistently. I think
something that is noticeable that just a final point on this is at the start of the season when we were watching Arsenal's watching Emery's team set up in pre-season at the start of the season, I saw that we were trying to implement this pressing kind of style, but I couldn't explain, like, the triggers were all wrong, they were all over the place, we weren't executing it very well. And I think against Liverpool and for about maybe 75% of the game against Liverpool and large parts of this game, I felt like we've actually kind of mastered it. And well, not mastered it, but we look like we've got it down to a T. And it's coming into fruition a little bit. And I think a lot of people are asking on through the Twitter account saying, you know, are you seeing how Emery's philosophy is progressing now? And I think, I don't think anyone can argue and say, yeah, we can actually see what he's trying to do now. No one can sit back and say, oh, he's just running hard. Or there is skill to the running. It's not just run around aimlessly. It's
runs half, like it's half of the...
Yeah,
it's half of it, and then the rest.
And I think just on that point, because when I look at teams, I look at them like out of possession and in possession, like what we're trying to do when we don't have it, and effectively what we're trying to do when we have it. And I think with Arsenal, with the ball, I see less of an identity.
Yeah.
But because of how they play out of possession, because of how intense they are, because of how they press, that kind of comes as a byproduct. So I think if you're consistently and constantly playing at high tempo off the ball and pressing, then you're going to win the ball in good areas, and then it's just going to, the rest is going to kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
And even like the momentum today, it allows you to play at a high tempo. So I think if you play against a team that kills the tempo, I feel like
we struggle again.
There's more of a challenge to then see how Emery wants you to attack, for instance.
That's where I think where we don't have that plan.
That's and lack a little bit.
And I think that comes from like how we build up play.
Exactly. This is my point. Yeah.
You said as well, we lack quality in some areas. We really do.
Yes.
Yeah,
so a game like that would really probably show us deficiencies in some way. But I do think I was hugely encouraged by Liverpool. Today, I ain't gonna lie, I was fucking ecstatic, man. I was.
What with the?
He got in a fight in the sports bar.
What with the Liverpool score?
No, Spurs today.
Oh, God! I thought you said I was hugely encouraged by Liverpool. But I didn't realise you mean the performance. I was thinking, what?
That we had.
Yeah.
Them.
Oh, okay.
Let's move on to Chelsea then, anyway.
When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.